I will teach you the most important chess strategy you could ever learn. This is a two-part strategy. Part 1, how to avoid blunders. Part 2, how to notice blunders that your opponent makes and then also win some free material. The opening doesn't matter. You can use this strategy with any single opening. I will just be playing the Sicilian defense here because it has been a while that I played this and I just want to switch things up a little bit for the regular viewers. So we are already at part 1 of the strategy. Every single time your opponent makes a move, you have to select their piece and look at it and think, where can it go? You'll literally have to sit on your hands. Don't make a move. Forget about your own plan. Look at their piece. Where is it going next? It's going here. It can take my knight. Is that a problem? What happens if I just continue development? Can they just take my knight? Yes. Can I recapture? Yes. I have 2 recaptures. This one leads to losing castling rights. This one looks perfectly fine. So I always freeze for a moment and look, what are they doing? Because I don't want to blunder. Even for this move, I always check. Is there a problem? I don't really see much. They can maybe hop here in the future, but there is no support for that yet, so it's not really a threat. We can continue with our opening. Again, they develop the bishop. Okay, it's not really doing much. We don't have any issues. We can just continue with the opening. Oh, okay, they make a new move. What's going on here? What's going on? Well, they have 2 pieces now, because we mainly want to look at their newest piece. They have a new piece aiming at this. So if I was to just play on autopilot, as so many players do, and I just develop my knight, bam, they take, check, ain't looking so great, I have to go here, I lose my rook. So that would be the first huge blunder that so many people would play here, and that would be just play on autopilot. But as I told you, sit on your hands, don't make a move, look at what they are doing. And first you fix that problem. And we have a problem. We have a piece that's attacked twice, only protected once. That's always a problem. Even if you don't see the entire follow-up, it's already a problem. We fix this. How do we fix this? I just protect it. And that solves the problem. They castle. We don't have to worry about that move. It's never going to attack us in any way, because the only thing they did was get a rook here to this square. Okay, they take. We already prepared against this. We have 2 ways to recapture, and I will actually do the one with the pawn, because using pawns and capturing towards the center, which is what I'm doing here, that's always a good plan. It's always a good plan because you get more central pawns, and we also have a potential open file for the rook. They made a move, looking into my territory. I don't know if it's really threatening. I'm going to say I would like to castle. The only thing we would need to be worried about is this move. They might play this. When I move my rook, that's dropping, but it's not an issue because this is also under attack. So we don't have anything to worry about. But you can see that literally for every single move that they make, I do this check. Of course, they move backwards, so now they might go this way. Again, nothing really going on. So that is part 1 of the strategy, and you always have to use this the entire game. Every move they make, you pause, you sit on your hands, you check what they are doing. The second part of the strategy is to do a CCT check. Checks, captures, threats. We do this on our move. If we have castled, we have developed. In the middle game, we start doing this CCT check, which means you look at every check you could play. We don't have any. Every capture you could play. We have 1. We have 1 capture here. We take this, we lose a knight, we win a pawn, we attack the rook. So every check and capture, you need to look at those. Is this a good trade? I don't think so, because we are losing a piece just for 2 pawns, if I'm correct. Yeah, so that's not what we want to play, but these things might give you ideas for the future. The next step is threats. Do we have any threats? Some people also call this CCA, checks, captures, attacks. Depends on what is easiest for you to remember. Do we have any attacks? For example, this is a weak pawn. This is just unprotected. Can we attack it? Yeah, we could play this. We could just attack it like that. Of course, we have to pay attention that we are also dropping this pawn, but we're also winning their pawn. So I think that would be okay. So that is the move I'm going to choose. And that is how we will play the entire game. First, sit on your hands. What's this doing? Nothing at all. Second move, what can we do? Checks, no. Captures, yes, but the captures still don't work. Everything is protected. Threats, I don't think we have any threats. And if you don't have anything at all, the thing that you want to do is just slowly optimize your position. I have a pawn which is under attack. I will just use one of my pieces. It hasn't moved yet. I will place it here and it will protect. Okay, They make a move, immediately freeze. What is it doing? Bam, it's attacking this pawn. We might be losing this pawn. That is something we need to be careful about. Okay, that's something to keep in mind. Also, this queen is aiming this way, and that makes me realize that actually, if I move this knight, I would have an attack against this queen. So I'm starting to think about tactics. So there are two things you could do. The first one being just saying, okay, I will just protect my pawn, everything is fine, nothing going on. That would actually not be a bad move, because at least we are sure that we are not losing material. Once you get a little bit more advanced, you could also think about maybe counter-attacking. Let's say maybe we move the knight, we do some discovery, and then they might take here, and you can do a bunch of calculation, but just for the sake of simplicity, I will always here do the step 1, part 1 first. Sit on my hands, solve the problem first. It makes everything easy, and now they make a move, not really doing much. They are putting some pressure here, but I already noticed that this is very well protected by my pawn and my queen. Now, checks, we don't have checks. Captures, yes. We can give up a free piece in a bunch of different ways, and that's what we want to calculate. Because it might also open up a tactic. For example, here an attack on the queen, but we just lose the knight, so that's not great. So we don't have checks, we don't have captures, we might have an attack or a threat. I like to use CCT, you can also say CCA. Threat would always be moving this knight. Wherever this knight goes, there is always a threat. We attack a queen, we attack, oops, not this, we attack this knight, we attack this pawn, this bishop is just a killer piece. Looks like a good move. I won't even calculate very deeply what this is doing because I'm pretty sure it's a huge attack. One extra step, of course, you need to do is the moves that you think about. For example, the move going here with a knight. Yeah, you need to, of course, check if your knight is just being captured there. That's also part of the strategy. That would be a huge blunder. I like moving my pieces to squares where I know they are already protected, because that eliminates a lot of calculation and it makes things easier. Okay, the queen goes here. I see a little bit going on this side of the board, but nothing serious. So CCT. Checks? No. Captures? Yes, we have a capture. It's a knight for bishop trade. Usually that is okay. So that's why I'm going to do it here. I'm not saying you should do every single trade just because you can, but I think this is fine. We remove an attacker and we get rid of the knight and we open up the bishop. So that's 3 bonuses for 1 move. Still, sit on your hands. They are attacking. Okay, there is not a problem. No checks, 1 capture. It's just going to be a trade. So you might consider this. You might consider trading and maybe going for something like this. This would be okay because we give them isolated double pawns. This wouldn't be great. We just gave away a bishop for a knight, which is the reverse of what we just did. We want to win bishops with our knights. So yeah, that's not the plan. I don't see anything, but I do have an attack. I do have a threat. If I double up my rooks, I had the simple threat that I might be winning that pawn. So that is how we will keep going every single move. Okay. They play this, and even for pawn moves, I do this sit on your hands check, as I call it. Because the pawn attacks this, but it also leaves behind this, and this is weak. It's already attacked once. If I add an extra attacker, it might collapse. Queen to a5, 2 attackers on the knight, an extra attacker on this pawn, and I think, honestly, that the white position is already crumbling, and that it might fall apart very, very soon. Rook move is just a protective move. We don't have to worry about it. CCT. No checks. 1 capture. Take, take, and take. And that's a free pawn. I think it's just a free pawn. I don't really see any downside from it. It's probably just a free pawn. So we could take that. I was also thinking here, but that's already a little bit more advanced, that maybe I could play pawn to c5. Bishop to b5, attack the rook, try something else. But again, I'm going to keep this video as simple as I possibly can because I want you to be able to go and play a game exactly like this straight after watching the video. We take this pawn, we have an extra pawn. Okay. Having your queen here for too long is dangerous, right? They might counterattack, they might try to counterattack this pawn as well. I don't like it, so I'm going to move my queen away. First of all, sit on my hands. But this is fine. It's perfectly fine. So I'm just going to go back with the queen, attack a little bit, see what's going on. Okay. If you follow this strategy, you will not blunder, you will see your opponent's mistakes, and you will win free material, so that's very normal. But then you need to learn the most difficult skill, finishing a game once you are winning. How do we do that? Well, there is one word for this, and that is trading. Trading, 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 trading. We want to trade every single piece because as soon as you are up material, you should be heading towards the end game because an end game with extra material, that's always quite easy to play. That is why, for example, a move like Queen b6 could be considered. There were different options, of course, but this could be considered. This was a potential queen trade. Especially lower rated opponents, they don't know what's going on. They will just trade, they will just go along with your plan and make things easy for you. They go here. That's a little alarm bell going off because even though the queen's not doing much immediately, there might be some rook swinging over, a checkmate coming in with the pawn. I don't know. There might be something here. So counterplay, that's what we need to watch out for. And especially here, you should take every single second that you have on your clock to make sure you don't blunder. I see already there's not an immediate issue. There's not an immediate issue here. And I was even thinking, I'm trying to find any move for my opponent. I was even thinking about this, just going in with the queen, basically doing an entire slide over pattern with my queen, just to make sure that I am not blundering anything. Oh, he's playing this exact variation, that's funny. Just because I want to be 100% sure I don't fall for anything. Again, if he traded that, that would be amazing. That would just be a free trade, and then it's an easy endgame. I didn't mention this move, sit on your hands, but I already looked at it. It's not doing much. It was funny that he actually played this exact move. Okay, this is under attack. I don't really see a trouble. I am going to just optimize my queen. Of course, you don't want your queen to be here on this f8 square this entire game. So that's what I was thinking about. Again, they make a move. What is it doing? They are attacking. Okay, we need to move the rook. We need to move the rook. That's simply what we need to do. Okay, we go here. Again, the bishop moves. The bishop attacks. The bishop is doing this. I think it's fine. So, at some point, you will need to really try to push. I have, of course, a difficult opponent here. He is not just going to trade and give me an endgame, so I will have to try to push for the win. And this is what happens at the higher levels. So I am looking for ways that I could potentially set up trades. For example, this, maybe set up this trade. That would be a move. Although I do like my pawn actually here. It's also protecting the center. Maybe I could do something here with a5, a4, trying to break open the position, trying to win a pawn maybe bishop to e6. And the good thing is in these types of positions, once you are winning, there are basically a bunch of moves that win the game. I think I will be trying this plan with the pawn, mostly because I did see that my queen is already aiming at this, so many players would just put a rook there and just lose a rook, because the queen is a real sniper, I think, here on g7. Okay, again, what's going on? They have a double attack going. They are attacking this twice. That's not looking too great. If I just play any random move, I'm losing. So sit on your hands, protect your problems first, and then you continue with your own plan. So this will be an excellent demonstration because my opponent is so strong. He is really fighting back, so you will learn so much from this game. He makes a move. Again, sit on your hands. What's going on? This is under attack. This is under attack. Oh, that's two pawns at the same time. Doesn't look too great. Can we fix that? Can we fix that? There's actually one move. Queen e5. I think queen e5 fixes it. We propose a queen trade. We block. We protect. So that's what we can do. Maybe it's not ideal. If we took some more time to calculate, maybe this could have been avoided even. This entire variation. But the thing is still that it is fine. I mean, it's just another trade. We are losing pieces, we are trading pieces, and we are getting to the end game. Okay. Yeah, the rook goes here. I don't really see a big problem. Everything is protected. We are now in the end game, which usually means we will have to start moving some pawns. So I was just moving pawns, for example, this. All of them are connected. I think that's fine. They just moved the rook, so we have to protect it. Basically, we have no option. We have to protect it. That's fine. Okay, they go back. And I need to figure out a way to push for an advantage here, because actually it's not the easiest of positions. I think I should try to maybe see if I can trade a bishop. I think trading a bishop would be good. For example, here, take, and then looks fine to me. Yeah, they trade. Looks fine to me. Okay, so we still have an endgame and we still have an extra pawn. The only extra thing that I should say about this is if you win a piece during your game, this strategy will always win you the entire game. If you win a pawn during your game, this won't always win you the game. Because one extra pawn is not always enough to win, especially against a strong opponent and a rook endgame. There are many rook endgame draws with an extra pawn. So this is where the difference, of course, shows between a 1000 player and a 2000 or higher rated player. And that is that a 1000 would probably lose this endgame as white. A very strong player, as my opponent here is a very strong player, he might just be able to keep a draw in this endgame. I'm not talking through every move here because the point of this video was not to teach you rook endgames. That's not the point. The point is to teach you that entire strategy. But I do think this is looking better now for black. I have a pawn that's so far advanced, and I think I can just try to win. And the problem for white is that white is very passive. White is on the defensive, and I think we might be able to sneak in behind their pawn, and that's always very, very tough to deal with. So as I said again, I'm not going to give you an entire rook endgame lecture. I could probably make an entire video just about that. But it's high level stuff that most of you shouldn't be worried about right now. The thing is just rook activity, king activity. That's basically what you need to think about here. And I'm also just trying to see if I can do as many trades as possible still, because every single trade still gets me closer to an endgame where I just have an extra pawn. And that's what I'm looking for here. I don't really know what's going on here. I think everything is fine, but we still need to find a way to figure out to push into the endgame. I was sometimes thinking this move, but I don't know. I don't know about it. I don't want to play a move that might lose me the game. Their king is actually kind of stuck. Maybe that's something we could use. Maybe we could use that. Try to limit their mobility. Because I do think, well, now they just moved the rook. But I was going to say, I do think they are getting in zugzwang. The rook cannot go here. The rook has to protect the pawn. And the king is actually kind of trapped. They could only go here, I think. So he moves this rook. Again, my biggest question is, can we just grab a free pawn? They can check. We move the king. I think that looks fine. So we might be winning this rook endgame. Yeah, that's a free pawn. And now we have two extra pawns. And two extra pawns should be enough to win as the game. I think all I have to do is probably just move my rook out of the way, push my pawn, try to make myself an extra queen. I think both of these squares are fine. Let's just go here. Okay, and let's push. And we are making a new queen. But of course, it will be a big maneuvering game because I can't just push. If I just push, I basically lose my pawn. So what I will have to do is I will have to start using my king. I will need to come closer with my king and see if I can force his rook to leave alone my pawn. So I'm trying a little bit here to see what he's going to do. Okay, he slides over. His other plan was probably to go here, I think, and to still protect it. But the thing is, if my king keeps getting closer to my pawn, eventually with my king, rook and pawn working together, that will be too much. So he was going to lose this anyways. But now we are just going to promote. Yeah. We play... Let's see, actually. We play this move. Oh, but he can go there. And then he stops the pawn. So probably... I think... Maybe we can go here, actually. Yeah. He is playing very tricky. You know, if I make a queen, that's quite problematic. We would be losing. So we still need to... be careful. How can I solve this? Maybe... I think I can just move my king. This is actually not the easiest of positions. I could also always go down with my king, because if I go down, he can actually not do... Yeah, I think that might be the easiest one. I think if I go down, he cannot do anything. He can still check. But I think now we can start moving up the board. And he will never have anything. Because my king is always protecting that one square that he needs to slide in. and he will not be able to always check me because at some point his pawn is blocking. Um, he is playing such a great defense. You know what the problem is if we make a queen? Check, check, take, take. And I don't know about this. I don't know about this. It's 3 pawns. Might be complex. Might be complex. So he is playing a great plan. I think we just have to protect, dance around the rook, and then we will be able to promote to a queen. But wow, that was excellent defensive play here from this chessboard. Now this will be super easy. The answer here to all of our problems is just attack the king, because we have 2 pieces working together attacking the king. So just very simple moves, like for example this. This just attacks a pawn twice. He only has 1 piece. He has no opportunities. He has to give up the rook. Now we have a full extra queen. And with a full extra queen, this will always be winning. We just take. And this pawn is way too far from promoting. We can even put the queen here, and that basically stops everything. Then you can just go in with the king. And this is going to be, I'm not even going to show it, but this is going to be a super easy checkmate. It's just king and queen versus king. So try this out in your own games and let me know how it goes.